been lovers. Okay, that's not gonna work. Hi guys, it's me again, Tatum. I'm back with another video. How crazy. Today I'm going to be telling you guys some of the signs to look for in an eating disorder. Not the physical signs like I did in my last video, but more like the signs that you can't really see in person, but that you can just kind of notice over time that don't really have to do with your physical appearance. But if you look at each of these things carefully, maybe you'll be like, oh my gosh, someone I know might have an eating disorder. I'm not just going to be talking about anorexia, by the way. I'm going to talk about bulimia, binge eating disorder, the signs and symptoms of all of those things, because I feel like anorexia can be really glorified in the media, and bulimia and binge eating disorder often go unknown. So I'm just going to touch on the signs of all of those, and those are also going to be signs of like orthorexia and other eating disorders that are less common but are still existent. So obviously the most noticeable sign is going to be dramatic weight loss, dramatic change in weight, dramatic weight gain, and like I said, that is more of a physical symptom, but I still wanted to touch on it once again just because it is the most noticeable. Other things that might not be as noticeable are a really big change in personality or mood, being like really irritable and having a lot of conflict all of a sudden. Another one is a sudden desire to lose weight or diet or be excessively healthy, become vegetarian, vegan, which can be used as an excuse to cut out food groups and become more restrictive. And you know, if somebody wants to be healthy or exercise more or something like that, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have an eating disorder. But that, along with a lot of other things on my list, might mean that they have an eating disorder. So each of these things by themselves aren't necessarily going to mean that the person that you know that you might be watching this video for has an eating disorder. You just kind of got to add them all up and see where you're at. The third thing that I want to mention is making a lot of excuses to not eat or avoid eating, which might not seem that weird, but maybe after watching this, you'll pay more attention to it. Some of those excuses might be like, I already ate, or I'm not hungry right now, or like I'm gonna eat something later on when I'm more hungry, or even going as far as to saying that they're allergic to something. Make sure to just kind of watch out for that more if you are concerned about somebody, and pay attention to how often they say that and how often you're actually seeing them eating. The fifth thing that I want to say is, drum roll, I forgot what it was. Well, let me check my notes real quick. I'm a real YouTuber now because I make notes, okay? That's what YouTubers do. Don't comment on that. That's what they do. I'm a real YouTuber. End of story, end of conversation. We're done. Okay, so the fifth one would be more for bulimia, which is going to the bathroom a lot after meals, or even going as far as to just going into their room a lot after meals, because a lot of the time they really, really want to hide what they're doing, so they might not even do it in the bathroom. So even if you're not seeing this person go into the bathroom a lot after meals, if they're always going into a different room right after, that could be a sign. And then this other one goes along with the mood changes, basically just being like overly defensive or getting easily upset when people make comments about their body or their eating habits. A really noticeable sign is if you call somebody healthy and they seem like they're really offended by that, that might be a sign that they have an eating disorder, because their body image goals might be really distorted. I don't know if it works the same for binge eating disorder. I'm not very aware of that disorder, but I should get more educated about it because I obviously don't want to discount that. It is just as much an eating disorder as the others. Then the sixth one is food always disappearing. If you're like buying new food constantly and then it just goes missing, this could be a sign that either this person is binging a lot and that could tie into their binge eating disorder, or they're binging and purging, which is more like bulimia. It could also be a subtype of anorexia, which is binge purge subtype. Then the seventh one is exercising excessively excessively, especially after meals, because they might be like trying to burn the calories off. Then the 8th sign is a change in the way that they dress, meaning like they wear more baggy clothes and clothes that kind of hide their body so you can't really see the shape of it. And you don't necessarily think that you're underweight, but on some level you have kind of an idea because you're attempting to hide that fact from other people that you have lost weight and there has been a dramatic change in the shape of your body. For me, I wasn't like that. I wore like tighter clothes because I felt more confident like that, and I was aware that I was like getting smaller. I wasn't aware that I was as small as I was. I didn't really think that people were gonna see me as looking sick because I didn't see myself like that. Then the 8th one is becoming more isolative and spending less time being social, because a lot of the time when people like go out with their friends, they go to eat, there's talk of food involved, there's food involved in many different ways when you hang out with people, when you're in different social circumstances. And a lot of people with eating disorders will avoid these social interactions to avoid food, and also because they kind of just want to like stay in their eating disorder all day and not really be like removed from that or have anybody question them, try to stop them, and they're more comfortable being more alone because then they can be more alone with their eating disorder. I just want to throw in there really quick, I've said this in my other videos, but I just want to say it again. I'm not a professional. I really don't take everything that I say as fact. So if I get something wrong, I apologize. You should definitely fact check me. I'm just one girl who usually has no idea what the hell she's talking about. Another sign that is a little larger is them always being freezing, which obviously is due to like malnourishment and having a low body fat percentage. I have no idea what number we're on, but it'll be up on the screen. A lot of talk about food is another one. If they're constantly bringing up food and just trying to discuss it whenever they can and kind of like obsessively talking about it, then they could possibly have an eating disorder. Also, making food for people a lot but not eating it, that's a really big one. And then another one is a lot of negative self-talk, which we all do in general anyways, but obviously like you're thinking more negatively about yourself when you do have an eating disorder. So this person could like constantly be saying that they're fat or overweight when it's like really clear that they aren't. So it could just be a sign of really distorted body image, and even if it's not an eating disorder, it could still be a sign that maybe they have body dysmorphia or something. Another one that falls more along the lines of bulimia is taking a lot of showers, and also they turn the faucet on a lot when they go into the bathroom. So if you're noticing somebody constantly turning on a faucet like for a while every time they go into the bathroom, that could be a really big sign. Then the next sign / symptom is that before you've noticed all of these other signs and symptoms that they've had some kind of like traumatic event or bad thing happen to them, because a lot of the time these things can trigger eating disorders. And if you've noticed that they've had a lot of things happen recently in their life that weren't so positive, that could be one of the causes. There's usually many, it's usually not just one. They've been using their eating disorder as a coping mechanism for the things that are currently going on in their life or the things that have happened. Then another one that doesn't really get talked about a lot, but I have heard people do it, and I definitely did it, and I didn't even realize that it was part of my eating disorder, but I do now, is buying a lot of food that never gets eaten. I had this obsession with going to the grocery store and buying a lot of food, which I know is so wasteful, but like, I don't know, it just really fueled my eating disorder because I wouldn't ever actually eat the food. I would just buy the food because some random person just walked by my window and saw me talking to a camera. Who is at my house? Somebody followed me to my house last night. Anyways, another sign more commonly associated with bulimia is constantly having a sore throat. Also, like taking a water bottle into the bathroom. I know that a lot of people do this and it might not seem that weird or you might not even notice it, but it is something to look out for. Another thing is constantly trying new diets, a bunch of different means to lose weight. And then the last one that I have is a new onset of medical issues. So if this person has recently developed a bunch of new medical issues like anemia, then they might have an eating disorder. Unless it's like cancer and stuff like that, that obviously wouldn't be tied to an eating disorder. Some other honorable mentions are body checking, constantly looking in the mirror, checking themselves out, if you see them noticing their body constantly in the mirror, always looking at it, staring at it, might have an eating disorder. Also, might just be something completely different. Who knows? Another thing is constantly changing outfits, never being happy with how they look in certain clothes and always feeling self-conscious about that, constantly changing the things that they are wearing. So those are the things that I forgot to include in the video, and now they are just honorable mentions. So you're welcome for coming to you from the future to give you some more things. So anyways, enjoy the rest of the video if you choose to continue watching it. Alright, goodbye. Also, really quickly, this has nothing to do with the point of the video, but you all know how obsessed with hell I am, right? I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I'm just insane. But today I wore my pentagram ring, and I got an upside down cross tattoo, which is gonna be on my body for the rest of my life. So it's a really great in the moment decision I made. I'm fairly certain that when I'm like 40 and I'm a mom or something, I'm gonna regret this heavily. Who cares though? That's what your teenage years are for, right? Also, I got the eating disorder recovery symbol tattooed on this finger, which, yeah, it's my wedding ring finger, but it means a lot to me and I really like it. I don't know if it's focusing, but you get the point. I'm talking so fast. Okay, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Moving on. Anyways, that's all that I have for you guys today. Hopefully you've been enjoying my content lately. I've been really enjoying making it, and I've been really enjoying being so active on this channel. I love YouTube. Like, I'm so happy that I got more involved with it again because it is like one of my favorite things. Anyways, I hope you guys all have a great day. Please, please, please subscribe. I would love it with all of my heart. Hit the notifications, comment, like, all that good stuff. Let me know what you want to see. The same routine that I always say, but I feel the need to say again just for the hell of it because every YouTuber does it. Okay, bye.